3-2-1. That's 3 minutes, 2 analysts, and 1 topic. And today's is something near and dear to our subscribers' hearts. Which incoming June freshman will make an impact this season? And for the sake of reference, the last 4 years, the June freshmen that made an impact were Benjamin Morrison, Joe Alt, Michael Mayer, and Kyle Hamilton. So they have a little bit of a tough act to follow here. And Tim, I know there's 4 offensive linemen. I don't think we're going to put them in the instant impact situation, but other than that, we have 7 June freshmen, and there's a couple positions where Notre Dame could use some help.
Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate that any of these June arrivals will make the impact that the previous 4 that you mentioned. But we didn't anticipate that at the time either. Right. So, I think a guy like an athlete like Jeremiah Love, I don't know how he fits in terms of carries, running the football, but just the athleticism, the speed, maybe special teams. He would be the first guy I think that comes to mind for me, just because the athleticism. There's also Micah Bell, of course, too, with his great speed that could add to the equation. But those 2 guys come to mind just because of the speed quotient.
Yeah, and I think I wrote about Jeremiah Love at some point. The speed has to be able to see the field. At some point, they have to find a way to work that speed in. I remember Brian Kelly once said about Jalen Smith going into his second year, if we didn't find a way to get Jalen Smith on the field, even if he wasn't 100% ready, that's on us. And I think a guy like Jeremiah Love can help Notre Dame in some fashion in the passing game, in the return game. 5 carries a game, and we hate to put numbers on these things because what does 5 carries mean? You're taking some from Audric Estime, you're taking some from Jadarian Price, but he should be able to help. My dark horse, and I have a feeling I know where you're going to go, so I'm glad I'm going a different direction. I like the fact that Brennan Vernon can come in, and this is not in the Joe Alt way. I like the fact that Brennan Vernon could come in and help Notre Dame possibly in 2 positions of need. I think he could help a little bit on the strong side because he does seem to have slimmed down. I still see his future as when he was signed, I thought he was a defensive tackle, and I figured he'd always grow into a defensive tackle. But I think there is a chance there for a guy that is just a tough football player to help Notre Dame. Once again, not in the freshman All-American way, but in a way that he could become a contributor as the season progresses.
I like him too. I liked him from the day, verbally committed early in the process. And I think the need at strong side end is greater right now. And so that's probably where Brennan Vernon would end up. I've loved Boubacar Traore since I first saw his film. Again, I don't know whether he makes an immediate contribution. Long term, I love what he can do for them. Again, at a defensive end position, probably a strong side defensive end position.
That is it for our first edition of what should be several 3-2-1s heading into camp and probably during training camp as well, Tim, as we have myriad topics to talk about. And the next one will also be one that Irish Illustrated subscribers welcome. Those early enrollees, which one of those guys is going to hit coming this fall?